Thanks so much for joining us, Julia.
Thanks so much for having me.
So I know from our previous conversations, we've had a few chats, you are super passionate about plant-based eating and about active living. Can you tell us a little bit about your own lifestyle and kind of what got you here?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I've been living an active plant-based lifestyle for 2/3 of my life now. So 22 years I've been plant-based. And it was at a really young age, when I was 11 years old, I decided I didn't want to eat animals anymore. So that's when I decided to become vegetarian. And then it was university where I joined the animal rights group. I decided to transition to a vegan lifestyle. So for me, animals it has always been sort of the number one reason why I've chosen that diet. And so, of course, really important that I choose my foods wisely with a plant-based diet. And then, of course, my other passion is fitness, so always really active, whether recreational activities like hiking or kayaking. I've done a lot of races like marathons and obstacle course races as well, and then most recently got into CrossFit. So activity and plant-based nutrition, so sort of combining the two, making sure that I'm choosing the right foods to fuel my body and my endeavors. So making sure I'm creating a lot of really healthy, balanced meals in the kitchen, which is great. I love to cook, so that makes a big difference there. And then supplementing with things that I'm not getting in my diet. So like, for example, B12, I don't get because I'm not eating animal protein, so I supplement with that. So it's really just filling in the gaps for what I'm missing.
Wow. So since 11 years old, plant-based, and how long have you been active for? Did you have an active
as
sporty?
long as I can remember too. Yeah, like always, doing extracurricular activities, doing family adventures, whether it was hiking or biking or team sports. Like always just living an active lifestyle and loving individual sports. So like getting into CrossFit most recently has been a huge new passion of mine. So that's always a big part of my life.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So you talk about food for fuel, and we're both big believers that that's exactly what it is. It's meant to be our fuel.
Yes.
So can you touch on that a little bit? Like some people, are super aware, especially athletes. Some are super aware and conscious of what they put into their bodies and they understand the connection. Other people are not so, attentive to that. So how is food fueling us? And just get into that a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. I think, whether we are an athlete or weekend warrior or adventurer, wellness seeker, whatever we are, our food choices matter. So, it shows up a little bit more when you're super active and you're on the track or in the gym. Like you really see the effects of what you're eating. But even if you lead a really sedentary lifestyle, your food choices are so important. So what we choose to eat becomes our fuel or becomes our poison. So of course, I think the biggest takeaway for this one is just being mindful of what we're eating, making sure that we're eating real, natural foods, making sure there's no preservatives, there's no additives, things are not processed, not really processed. Yeah. Going to our local health food stores, going to our farmers markets, making sure we're making the best choices about what's available. If we're eating out, choosing the healthiest option on the menu and just making sure that it's all balanced. So, healthy fats, clean carbohydrates, quality protein. So I think the biggest takeaway is awareness, making sure that you know what is in your food, because that will have a direct impact on how you feel, your energy levels, your performance, and your overall health and wellness.
Yeah. So whether you're vegetarian, vegan, or not, plant-based foods, whole natural, fruits, vegetables, herbs, nuts, seeds, that should really be dominate our diet, right?
Absolutely, yes, yeah. And the more natural the better, of course.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And it makes a huge difference.
Always, yes.
Now, what about, I know we don't have time to go too in depth around this, but meal timing or nutrient timing around activity. Some people are really diligent about eating certain foods before activity, especially endurance activity or intense activity, and then taking some kind of supplement during and post. So can you touch on that a little bit? What are your general sort of guidelines or recommendations for people who are going to the gym or people who are going for a run or a hike? What are the best suggestions?
For sure, yeah. So I think definitely for any type of activity, We don't want to eat any heavy meals beforehand. It's good to stick to something simple, something clean. Like I love apple and almond butter, banana, oats and berries. Those kind of things, they're really quick. They're easy for the body to break down and utilize pretty quickly. So sticking to simple foods before an event or a race is really important. Beforehand, if like anything less than something like a marathon, I would say, we don't necessarily need to carb load. I know there's a lot of talk about carb loading. I don't think it's that important because there's a lot of reserves that our body already has to go through for fuel. But like a longer grueling event, for sure, some carb loading might be beneficial to have some extra fuel in the tank. And then during exercise, there's a few things that I would suggest. Number one, like stay hydrated, drink water, drink a lot of water if you're exercising. Of course, that's really important.
And we think that's a no-brainer,
oh, I know,
right? But so
yeah.
many people forget.
Exactly, yeah. No matter what you're doing, always drink water. Ideally, if you have some electrolytes in there, because if it's an endurance event and you're sweating a lot, you're sweating out those minerals. You want to replenish those, prevent muscle cramping. So something with electrolytes in it would be really ideal.
And there's much better electrolytes out there than your Powerade or Gatorade, right? Which is full of refined sugar and food coloring. So.
Yes. So again, being mindful, looking at the labels, look for something that's clean, that's all natural. Like coconut water is amazing as a hydrator and electrolyte supplement. There's lots of great options out there. It's just, again, looking at those labels, making sure there's no added colors or additives or preservatives. You can find a lot going into your local health food store. And then a couple other things, BCAAs, so that's one thing to consider during exercise. So branched chain amino acids, they really help to keep your body in a muscle building state to prevent muscle breakdown.
So is that taken in is that a powder that you add to your water?
Exactly, yeah. So it would be a powder again, adding that to your during your workout to your shaker bottle. You can take that during that is really important, again, just to prevent muscle breakdown. So again, looking at those food labels, when you're in the store, lots of great natural alternatives out there. Another thing to have either during or after would be glutamine. So glutamine being the most abundant amino acid in our body, a lot of it is found in our gut, so really important for our gut health, our immune function, really important also to prevent muscle soreness and muscle fatigue. So that's something to take either during and or after activity. And then most importantly, and lastly, protein we want to have at the end of the workout. So whether it's like a 10K or a marathon, I would definitely suggest having protein right after, and that way it's helping to rebuild, repair our muscle fibers that we've recruited so hard during our workout. So just having a simple protein shake right after the workout is ideal. Mixing your protein into a shaker bottle, mix it up with some water.
So that's simple, just shake it up.
So easy, yeah. And of course, obviously quality is important too, so finding a really good quality product. Short ingredient list, natural, no artificial ingredients, and have that right after your workout for within 45 minutes. That's the ideal window, so that your body can utilize it really quickly, get it to your muscles when they need it the most.
So by doing those things prior to, during, and after activity, you're helping to prevent muscle wasting. You're helping to increase your energy for the next day, the next activity.
Yeah, improving
preventing cramping, recovery.
Absolutely.
Yes, it makes a big difference, doesn't it?
Huge, yeah. And then you can get to your next workout a little sooner, a little less sore, and you have some energy, for that next time around.
Sure. So people should really kind of experiment and see what works best for their body, right?
Yes.
Especially with the workout snack.
Oh,
everybody's different, and
absolutely.
as long as it's whole foods, natural, play around with different recipes or foods and see what works best for you.
Absolutely,
right?
Yes,
yeah.
You'll find what works and what doesn't pretty quickly.
And what's your favorite? So what do you? So tell us.
Yeah,
what do
absolutely.
you do? What do you like to eat?
So I definitely I mentioned the apple and almond butter. I love to have that before a workout. It's super light. It gives me something. I do use branched chain amino acids, glutamine as well, and then after my workout, always a protein shake. Whether I'm doing strength training or endurance, I always have protein, so it's handy for me. I of course will choose a plant-based option, and ideally it's sprouted or fermented, so it just makes for better digestion and absorption.
Yeah.
Of course, when it is plant-based, that does help in terms of breaking down. There's an anti-nutrient barrier around the grains and the seeds, so it makes it really beneficial for digestion and absorption. And then I'll just mix it with water right after my workout. So getting that in right away makes a big difference.
Do you ever do a smoothie? I know a lot of people like to do smoothies.
Yeah.
So after your workout,
Yeah.
it's usually just water and protein. But do you have protein a couple times a day then? Or
I do.
You
Generally,
do?
yes. So whether it's for breakfast or like if I'm out and I need a nutritious meal on the go, I'll do a smoothie. Love to add things like avocado, spinach. I'll use a little bit of banana or mango, hemp seeds, chia seeds, and usually like a base of almond milk. So it's like it's a full hearty meal. It's balanced. I have my protein, my carbs, my fat, and that way like I'm ensuring a full nutritious meal wherever I'm going.
And that would definitely carry you through a
Absolutely.
good part of the day, right?
Absolutely.
At least a few hours.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
especially
really,
with the fat in there, the hemp seeds or the avocado.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy for anyone to do. It's a really
Yeah.
healthy alternative for anyone.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll even put my ingredients in the blender the night before, pop it in the fridge, so it's ready to blend the next morning, right?
So convenient.
I hear of people also making these smoothie freezer packs where they put all the ingredients in a Ziploc bag or some kind of and freeze it so they can just grab it and pop it in the blender.
Absolutely. Yeah, whatever makes your life easier, and that way you know you have a nutritious meal, even if you're on the go and you're not around places that have good options. You've thought ahead, you're being mindful of it, and it makes all the difference.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. That was so inspiring,
Thank you.
I think extremely beneficial for people out there who are leading an active lifestyle, whether it's gardening in the summertime or going for a casual family bike ride or a hike in the Gatineaus, or for those who are engaging marathons or are playing intense sports like hockey or I think this information applies to everyone, so it's very practical.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks so much for having me.
You're welcome.
Thank you.